Today, I want to ask a question that we all should be demanding answers to. How did a convicted sex offender, a felon who was ordered deported, end up working inside the Minnesota Department of Education? That's not exaggeration. It's the shocking truth coming out of Governor Tim Walz's administration. This isn't just a hiring scandal. It's a breakdown of our justice system, immigration enforcement, and public trust. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Nellie Miranda.
And convicted of felony criminal sexual conduct, was hired for not one, but two jobs with the state of Minnesota.
Chief political reporter Tom Hauser spent the day working to find out what kind of criminal background check he went through, if he had one at all.
Many unanswered questions surrounding now former Department of Education employee Wilson Tindi. The agency won't say much about why he left, but he does have this criminal complaint against him from 2014 and subsequent conviction of criminal sexual conduct in that case in 2016. He was accused of burglary and sexual assault after breaking into an apartment, and a victim, quote, felt someone pull her underwear down. The criminal complaint goes on to say the victim observed a male party standing over her. The suspect fled the scene, but a fingerprint recovered from the woman's apartment led police to Tindi. He eventually was convicted of fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct. He was ordered to spend 200 days in the Hennepin County workhouse. Despite his criminal history, he was able to first land a job at the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency in 2018, and just this past April moved to the Minnesota Department of Education. A statement from MDE confirms he's no longer employed there as of June 27th. Wilson Tindi is not a current employee at MDE, the statement says. He was a probationary employee in an internal role at MDE for approximately 2.5 months. He did not interact with students, visit schools, or have access to private student data. Nobody can answer if he ever underwent a criminal background check. In 2009, the legislature passed a law known as Ban the Box, which eliminated a checkbox question on an application asking job applicants if they have a criminal record. State agencies can but are not required to do a background check until the person is granted an interview or offered a job. We knocked on the door at Tindi's home, but got no response.
He's not just some paper pusher. He was appointed as Director of Internal Audit for Minnesota's Department of Education, a role responsible for safeguarding taxpayer money. But in 2016, he pleaded guilty to criminal sexual conduct. The facts are, he broke into a woman's home and assaulted her while she slept. Court records show he originally faced first-degree burglary charges. Those charges were dropped in exchange for the sex assault plea. He served 210 days in a county workhouse, not a prison, and he was registered as a predatory offender. Now, if that doesn't disqualify you from public office, I don't know what the heck does. But here's where it gets a little bit more outrageous. Tindi, a Kenyan national and green card holder, was flagged by ICE. An immigration judge ordered him deported. The ruling was upheld by the Board of Immigration Appeals, but instead of getting removed from the U.S., he fought it. He claimed that his attorney didn't warn him about immigration consequences. A federal appeals court issued a stay, and Tindi spent 18 months in ICE custody, only to be released. And guess what? His guilty plea was never overturned. He's still a felon, still a registered sex offender, and he's still in this country. So what does the Minnesota government do with a sex offender the courts wanted gone? They gave him a public job. In April 2025, Tindi was hired to oversee internal audits in the Department of Education. Yes, the same department responsible for Minnesota's public schools. He was placed in charge of reviewing how tax dollars are spent. Like, you could not make this stuff up, even if you tried. By June 27th, under public pressure, Tindi's employment was terminated quietly. The state has refused to comment on how he was hired or what vetting was done. Now, after the story blew up, even federal officials had enough. One senior DHS official told Alpha News, quote, under Tim Walz's Sanctuary City policy, this convicted sex offender and illegal alien was not just released into Minnesota communities, but was paid U.S. taxpayer dollars and given access to innocent Americans that could be victimized and harmed. We'll get the sicko and criminal illegal aliens out of American communities. Sanctuary politicians be damned. So what exactly is Minnesota's excuse? Where's Governor Walz? Why hasn't he explained this? Where is the Minnesota Department of Education? Where's the transparency? If you have a criminal sex conviction, you'd be lucky to land a job at a gas station, much less in government. But somehow, a convicted foreign felon with a standing deportation order was handed a taxpayer-funded position auditing schools. How? This is political protection at the expense of victims' safety and of common sense. We don't need DEI hires that overlook felonies. We need competent, vetted, law-abiding personnel serving the public. So let me ask you, should Tindi be deported? Should sex offenders be eligible for government jobs? And who should be held accountable for this hiring scandal? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if honest commentary brings you value, please make sure you like and subscribe as it really helps support the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.